For the love of the God Emperor, if you are the lowest health, don't take the Gene Seed when the player with full health is right next to you looking at it, about to grab it. Yeah, so that's pretty frustrating. I have been seeing this a lot recently, of players misplaying with the Gene Seed. Not 100% sure why this is happening. Maybe we have a new wave of players, but for whatever reason, it's basically with the Gene Seed. It feels like every now and then we can get it through. You know, we can save the Gene Seed, but I think the rate of people surviving with the Gene Seed is definitely a little bit lower. I've seen plenty of people just pick it up at low health. No idea why this is happening. Especially recently, there's a point where somebody pointed out the Gene Seed. I had like 2 stims or something, so I was about to go pick it up. Guess what happens? Other teammate picks it up, dies. So they didn't have any stims or anything. They just picked up the Gene Seed and just immediately died. So we are back here talking about the Gene Seed because it feels like there's a new wave of players, I guess. Ultimately because there was a sale, but also Siege mode, new update. I can see some new players joining the game. Also, it feels like there's a handful of veterans who may or may not, maybe. It feels like they are taking a little bit of a break to wait for some connection patches. But on this subject of that, since I've been talking about that periodically throughout videos just because it is obviously a concerning topic, I have been able to complete 15 waves of hard mode without any disconnections. There was like 1 or 2 moments where I started to see red ping, but it actually didn't affect the gameplay. So not 100% sure what happened there, but for any case, it feels like the last maintenance actually did some pretty good stuff with the Siege mode connection issues and stuff. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you tried Siege mode recently, but I can actually start grinding Siege mode again, so I'm happy about that. But yes, as far as the subject of Gene Seeds go, because essentially when I was taking a little bit of break from Siege, I've been seeing a lot of this. So yeah, seeing players with low health just pick up the Gene Seed, immediately die. Seeing players without stims pick up the Gene Seed, immediately die. Seeing players pick up the Gene Seed and then not pick up any stims, that's a puzzling one. Saw that. Not too sure what's going on with that one. Just had this happen, wanted to gripe, but dude died, then got frustrated with me because I shot at him when I was just trying to prestige my character faster. Yeah, okay, we also, sheesh. I remember last time we talked about Gene Seed, when we were talking about players getting toxic over the Gene Seed, players getting kicked. Yeah, we saw a player get kicked over the Gene Seed. It is insane. But yeah, with I guess maybe there was like a sale going on in the game or something, but yeah, for whatever reason, we have a new wave of players just throwing with the Gene Seed, I guess. A new wave of Gene Seed throwers, yeah. Let's hope not, but ultimately, it's pretty weird. The etiquette across the board for this game has taken a nosedive. I have no idea why. People stealing executions, hogging stims, all that sort of stuff. Not understanding like Guardian relics and stuff like that. I mean, as far as mortal wounds, I think mortal wounds have been cleared. I haven't seen anybody just like not clear the mortal wounds. Maybe once. I've seen more players misplay the Gene Seed than I've seen. I feel like recently than I've seen throughout the entire lifespan of the game. I don't know. I've seen some very puzzling things recently. But yeah, for whatever reason, I'm not too sure what is going on. See, here's the thing. Some of these new players are basically an absolute already. It really doesn't take that long to level up for absolute, I guess. If you had the game for a week, you could be full level, something like that. Level 25, Prestige 2 maybe, depending on how much you play it, I guess. You could definitely get to Prestige 4 in a week, by the way, 100%. But I'm not 100% sure if these are, if this is 100% new players throwing with the Gene Seed, or if these are returning players from launch throwing with the Gene Seed. I don't think they're throwing with the Gene Seed. Throwing kind of implies that they pick it up and then die on purpose. You know what I mean? I don't think we're seeing that. But, I mean, at a certain point with the lack of thought with some of these plays, it can be considered throwing. just a little bit. I mean, dude, seriously, I've not seen more misplays with the Gene Seed than, seriously, this entire launch of the game. Normally, when someone picks up the Gene Seed, they know what they're doing. It's very rare we see clips of, basically terrible etiquette around the Gene Seed, kicking players, also unacceptable around the Gene Seed, crazy. But yeah, for whatever reason, it seems like we've seen a fair amount of new players just misplaying with the Gene Seed. Don't pick it up if you're at low health. That's fine. I think that's a fair request to ask for. Also, for me, personally, when it comes to the Gene Seed, I kind of just leave it to whoever has the most stims, or whoever's the highest health, full health, healthiest. Yeah, that's definitely a way to do it. But yeah, let me jump into the comments to see if players are having the same experience that I am having, and maybe other players are having. Let me know in the comments if you have seen players misplay with the Gene Seed recently. And yeah, let's see how people react to this one. Me as the full HP max rank sniper who's happy to carry the seed, looking at almost dead Assault who's already died once and has no team perk that picked it up on Absolute. Oh my god. Dude, okay, yeah, no, that reminds me. Dude, guys, I saw a level 22 in Operations Prestige 1 without a team perk on Absolute. Absolutely insane. Guess what happens? Guess what happened? Yeah, we failed. We did not complete that mission. Absolutely insane, dude. Okay, maybe we did. I'll check back on my footage. I'll definitely have it logged if we won. But still, regardless, if you're in your 20s, get a team perk. Are you out of your gosh darn mind, guys? Like, seriously, holy cow. Secure stockpile, the first team perk. No, seriously, like this stuff, I swear, I wish, I should really just title this video, what is going on with y'all? No, for real though, like the etiquette of this game took a harsh nosedive. I do not know what's going on. But yeah, dude, level 20 without a team perk in Absolute. So ridiculous. I'm pretty sure we died. I think there's a moment. Oh yeah, yep. There was a moment where it was like we were right at the end, and the tactical goes down, and like my other teammate goes down. I was like last one standing, and then I got combo pieced up by Ravener Carnifex, I believe. Yeah, that'll happen. Hey, maybe if we had secure stockpile, we would have been fine, right? I don't, guys, seriously, we talk about this game so often as far as etiquette, like strategies, how you should approach certain situations, mechanics that we don't really know about, or like people don't know about or whatever, but like we try to like as far as like off the top of my head, like understanding how the UI can show you your teammates' armor. Your teammates have a little logo. If it's golden, they have armor. Not a lot of people know about that, but you know, talking about it now, it is so apparent, or not, well, talking about it now, but also we brought it up before to make sure that people knew about it. But still, now that I can actually identify the armor for your teammates and everything, it is staggering how often people do not pay attention to that. Like, holy cow. Sometimes with some of these players, man, it's just about, you know, aiming for the head and taking out enemies. Everything else does not matter. And ultimately, you know what? At the end of the day, if you get the job done, you get the job done. I get it. But like, still, it's so funny. Like, I feel like in patch 7, we saw players, you know, making sure the right people get the stims. We saw players getting sweaty over Gene Seed at the very least. Now it's just like, hey, level 1, no perks, pick it up and die. Thank you. Like, I don't know, it's so wild. It's pretty funny though, to be completely honest. Well, I guess it's their choice. I don't lose anything by it going missing. I just like carrying it for other players who are leveling. I mean, yeah, that's fair. I could definitely understand that one for sure. But yeah, most of the times I'm in Absolute, so it's like it really depends what levels they are, but for the most part, I'm like, if you want to level, you should pick up the Gene Seed. I want to make sure we win, so I'll pick up the Guardian Relic. But yeah, it depends. It depends mostly. But for Absolute, I don't want to sit there and babysit someone's experience. You know what I mean? I like, more power to you. That's more of like a ruthless, lethal, substantial thing for me if I jump in over leveled. That's very rare, but even if I jump in appropriately leveled, I'll pick up the Gene Seed, because I know like ruthless, substantial, lethal, that's pretty, I won't say easy, but it's comfortable for me, I'll say that. And yeah, I have relic weapons, prestige 2, like level 10 assault or something. Yeah, no problem. On ruthless, I'll pick up the Gene Seed. In Absolute 2.0, and I want to complete it, Gene seed is not a priority to me, so maybe that's the issue. Maybe I'm running into players misplaying the gene seed because I'm not the one picking it up, but ultimately it's still like pretty silly to pick up the gene seed, low health, no team perk, under-leveled, no stims. How else can we make this worse, right? Basically not using leveled up weapons. I guess that's the only way to make this worse. Using the bolt pistol, yeah, there we go. There we go. Health has nothing to do with it. Survivability is the only thing that matters. There's been plenty of times where I had a misstep and got smacked at 25% HP, just revived the other two brothers and also watched them die again and then survive for 4 minutes until they respawn, without ever taking another tick of HP damage. Yeah, I mean, on a side note, this is kind of an interesting point. I feel like sometimes it takes me one big hit to lock in. And honestly, he's correct about this because I'm not too sure if you guys saw, it was like a while ago. I forget what bulwark video it was. It was a bulwark shock video where I start the operation getting sniped in the face and going directly down with a mortal wound. And I followed that up by picking up the gene seed and carrying it all the rest of the way. And I made it. I made it with the gene seed. Which is great. which is great. So, unfortunately, there definitely are players who are just like, you know, they're not the example. You know, they can thrive. They can thrive to spite the rules and not really abide by them. Basically, I'm just saying there are players who are good enough to do that. But for the most part, when it comes to being low health and picking up the gene seed, I would definitely not recommend it. But I think this is a fair point. I also have been in this situation where it's like, you're low health, but you have the tools necessary to carry the gene seed. That's a fair point. I feel like that's a fair point to make. However, I'm definitely going to be questioning if the person is picking up the gene seed low health and also doesn't have a team perk, doesn't have leveled up weapons, isn't level, yeah, all that. You know what I mean? It's like it's more about context clues. Like if a under-leveled level 14 Vanguard with unmatched zeal and like a relic bolt carbine just so happens to be under 50% health and they pick up the gene seed, I'd say, hey, more power to them, give it to them, because A, they're confident in picking it up, B, they have the tools necessary, relic bolt carbine, unmatched zeal, they can heal themselves. This 100% makes sense. But I mean, even if the Vanguard had melee champion, maybe I'd second guess it a little bit. But still, I think there are definitely players who are able to pick up the gene seed, low health, no stims, and carry it the rest of the way. But it's rare. It's very rare. So for the sake of this video, I'm definitely going to say, do not pick up the gene seed if you're low health and can't heal. But yeah, sure, there are definitely players out there who are freaks of nature and can just pick up the gene seed without a weapon and carry it the rest of the way. Sure. That is definitely not going to be the guys without team perks. Okay. So let's keep that in mind. I don't want to sound like a jerk, but if you get downvoted more, downed, sorry. if you get downed more than once every 10 or so missions, then you have no cause to complain about gene seeds. Yeah. Dude, also players going down like a lot. I feel like some players just don't care. Sometimes I run into players who are just like dying like every 2 seconds, and it's just I'm surprised they don't leave the game. Most of the times they leave the game. But yeah, so in siege mode, I've seen a fair amount of players just kind of muscling through waves 1 through 5, hard mode specifically, since I did mention that I was able to get through waves 15 on hard mode on console. So I did beat waves 15 hard mode on PC and console now, and I'm actually pretty happy for the console one because that means I can actually start to do siege mode grinds again without worrying about disconnections, I think. But yeah, again, another side note, let me know in the comments how you guys have been connecting to siege mode. We might revisit that conversation just to see how it goes, but I always want to make sure I talk about that one because I understand that one has been bothering a lot of people, rightfully so. I played 3 rounds in a row a few days ago where someone grabbed the seed and died, so I just started rushing the spawns and taking it instead. If you don't want to lose it, then do that and don't die. Okay. Yeah, I mean, dude, yeah, when it comes to the gene seed, I feel like there are players who are really adamant that we pick it up, but don't want to pick it up. I can see that being a little bit frustrating. Ultimately, if you're really concerned with the state of the gene seed, you should pick up the gene seed 100%. I feel like there's players who just don't know what it does and just pick it up and then maybe die with it or something. But it is pretty funny. It is pretty funny to seeing. It is okay. It's funny, but it's also frustrating seeing how like patch 7 we had this all locked. Like, when it comes to the gene seed, the rightful player is picking up. Whoever picked up the gene seed also had stims or picked up a stim afterwards. But now, I don't know what is going on. Players without team perks are picking it up. Players without health are picking it up. Players are picking up the gene seed and then refusing to pick up stims. That happened to me recently. That one is puzzling as well. Yeah, I've been seeing some seriously weird stuff in the game recently, especially the level 20 tactical without a team perk. Prestige 1, by the way. In absolute. Insane. They had to forget. I cannot sit here and believe that there's a player who's like, I don't know if I had the credits for this team perk. Maybe there is. I don't know. That's wild. But ultimately, if you lose the operation, you don't get any credits, right? So, I don't know. But yeah, when it comes to the gene seed, guys, let's be a little bit more mindful. I think, obviously, we're all on the same page with the gene seed as far as people who regularly watch my videos, obviously. But still, here's another PSA for y'all. There are definitely people who are picking up the gene seed and throwing it. They are throwing it away. But yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah, there's definitely a new wave of gene seed throwers, maybe, something like that. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. Let me know in the comments your experience with new players picking up the gene seed recently, or if you have any other gene seed horror stories. I would definitely enjoy to read those in the comments. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this, and thanks for watching.